Welcome to the Arcturian Playground, a place to play in the realm of imagination, all done in the service of compassionate expansion of consciousness. Yes, it sounds weird, we know. We would not have it any other way.
Yes, we are here, man in the chair. We are the Arcturian Collective Thinking. And we have a story to weave together for you this evening, for you were outside and you were looking in our direction, for you have an app on your phone and you turned it on and asked it to show you where was the Arcturus star, which you know, of course, is the third brightest star in the sky. We are quite proud of that, although we mean that tongue-in-cheek. This is not a reflection of us as much as it is a reflection of yourself. When you look at the brightness of the stars, it gives you an idea of your collective connection to that celestial body. And as you were gazing upon us, man in the chair, we were gazing back, of course, as always, and listening to your singing voice, the song that you learned as a child from your Mormon upbringing, which gave a sense of home, for there is a belief in Mormonism of a premortal existence. Therefore, it is easier for your mind, having been conditioned from a young age to think of such things, to imagine that there was an existence of yourself before this one that you are aware of, and that there was a veil of forgetfulness placed between you and your prior self. This is an easy idea for you to inhabit, for it was carved into you. It was your neural pathways were led like sheep down a field to create a particular worldview or way of seeing things through all of your Sunday school lessons and whatnot. And therefore, the understanding that as you look out at the night sky, what you are seeing is life and intelligence and light. That is no surprise to anyone. What might be a surprise is that what you are looking at is not truly there at this current moment, for we are sorry to say there is no need to hold a funeral for us, for we exist outside of space and time. But the Arcturus system, solar system, as you would think of it, has long since supernovaed. There are many different ways that a star can mature and return to its source. And one way is to supernova, and we have told the man in the chair before that you can roughly think of this as the collective impetus which is driven by all of the life forms and forms of existence and all of their various interactions within the solar system. And each one of them has a certain degree of choice for a time. That's what they will do before they fit into a groove and get stuck in a groove, not stuck in so much as recognizing optimum efficiency in performing this way, whatever that way may be. And we could liken it to the emotions within your own nature which make up your personality. There are tremendously strong competing forces within you, which are based upon all of your past experiences as well as different genetic codes. There are so many influences that are making each person who they are. It is the same with solar systems and other forms of life that interact one with another. And you could think of your emotional valence system as being an angry person, or a kind person, or a gentle person, or a timid person, or a brash person, or an insensitive person, or there are so many different ways to be, and all of these are created from inside of you. They are created from your mind and your heart and your biology and your neurology. It is all in concert together, and it is all feeding part of one network. And we, in our solar system, the Arcturian solar system, we evolved down a certain path of choosing to be a certain way, of our own vibrations, which you would consider to be very compassionate and logical and reasonable and caring and seeking the mutual benefit of all things, while at the same time giving the greatest degree of allowance and respect for differing opinions. Up to a point, we will defend ourselves, and we tend to flight more than fight, although there are times where we have to engage. We have no choice but to engage, and our type of warfare is a very different type of warfare that we will not speak of at this time. We merely wish to say that we, the Arcturian solar system, have a personality that, out of its magnanimity, we think is the English word, the goodness of heart, the generosity, we built and grow so powerful that we exploded supernova. It was a beautiful explosion, and spread all of our experience all throughout the galaxy to a great intensity, impacting many birthing stars. And the imprint of our experience, along with the imprint of all of the other stars which they were absorbing at the same time, coalesced together to form the infancy of that solar system. And therefore the pattern of the Arcturian solar system resides within every human being, every living thing. There is a matrix, you might think, of all of the stars in the sky which you see, this light which is reaching you, and so many more which you cannot. There are all these influences and experiences at levels of existence beyond your ability to comprehend. And we say this to you as a way to give yourself a break in certain ways, to recognize that within your own being there are deep universes and multiverses of intelligent information and coordination which is impacting you at a conscious level in ways that you quickly assign a story to because you desire so much to have a sense of meaning, and then you get lost in that story and you do not pay attention to the cues within your body, the intelligent amassment of intelligently evolved bundles of energy which are maximized at perfect efficiency, and they are speaking to you in ways that are not in any kind of language that you would recognize, but more in the sense of feeling. And when you are in a state of panic, in any degree, whether it is imagined or not, you begin to distort what your own body is saying, and there are patterns which form, these wounds, these samskaras of your experience that shape what is coming into you. And every human, every living thing really has a different experience of what is going on around them and how it is impacting them and how they are impacting it, and it is all impacting the whole and rippling and creating the solar system that you will be. For there is also a pathway of selfishness, exploitation, the opposite, you might say, and many degrees of what we stand for, the Arcturian collective thingy, represented by the Arcturian solar system. There are stars which collapse upon themselves. They become so heavy, they cannibalize themselves in certain ways. And that becomes a black hole, which then cannibalizes all of the light which is around it. And before you feel bad and think that there is a funeral, the other side of the black hole is a brand new sun, a brand new universe, really, for all of this energy that was sucked in and becomes quite disoriented and begins, once again, the gradual seeking of understanding, of coming to a coalescence like so many tiny beads of mercury which find each other and glom together and form into something, all looking and all wondering, who can I trust, and learning at different levels of consciousness when trust is achieved and attained. And there is a pattern which is beneficial mutually for the vast majority, at least, of those in the system, until it collapses upon itself And this is a pattern which can be seen in nature and even in the creations of human beings, which are, of course, extensions of nature. We are the Arcturian Collective Thingy. We have enjoyed the enthusiasm which you have brought to us this evening, man in the chair, and it is late, and you are feeling exhausted, so go and sleep. You have been sick. So mend your body. It is working on your behalf always. We are the Arcturian Collective Thingy, and we say just to see if you would do it.
Thank you for playing with us today in the Arcturian Playground. Do not for a minute think that your exploration is finished. Carry us with you and invite the spirit of compassion and love into your lives. Nothing is more important or more fulfilling. Create compassion and love within your own hearts and minds. Then share it with all around you. Yes, it sounds weird. We know. We would not have it any other way.
Okay, so get ready, because today we are diving into a cosmic mystery. A listener sent us a channeled message.
Oh.
Yeah, and it claims to be from something called, wait for it, the Arcturian Collective Thingy.
Okay.
It gets even wilder, trust me. The message talks about exploding stars, Mormon hymns, even gives a shout out to, get this, your singing voice.
Wow.
So yeah, we're going to try to decode this message and see what it reveals about the universe, and maybe, just maybe, even about you.
Well, I know channeled messages can be, let's just say, a bit out there. But even if we are skeptical about this, I still think there's some fascinating stuff to unpack here.
I am totally with you on that. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to sift through all of this and see if there's any actual scientific or philosophical gold hidden in here.
Yeah.
Like, is there really any science behind this Arcturian collective thingy? Or is it just a bunch of spacey, wafty stuff? And can someone really, for real, sing their way to intergalactic fame?
Well, let's just start with what we know. The message mentions Arcturus.
Oh, right. And that's a pretty big deal in astronomy, right?
Yeah.
I think you even told me once that it's like the third brightest star you could see from Earth.
You're right. It is. It's so bright you can see it without even a telescope.
Yeah.
And, the message mentions you looking at Arcturus. So if you were, say, using a stargazing app, you probably saw it.
Whoa. So you're saying there's a chance I've looked this Arcturian collective thingy right in its cosmic eye. Okay, now I'm really interested. But here's what I don't get. The message claims this Arcturus system, at least the way we see it now, is gone. How is it even possible?
Well, it's not like someone turned off the universe and then back on again, but it does highlight just how incredibly vast and old the universe is. You see, when we talk about stars, we have to think about deep time, which goes back billions of years, right?
Right.
Which means stars, even massive ones like Arcturus, have lifespans that make human history seem like, well, nothing.
So what you're saying is this message could be ancient history, like getting a message from a civilization that existed millions of years ago?
Yeah.
That's wild. Tell me more about this deep time thing. Is it like, I don't know, regular time, but like, deeper?
Okay, think of it this way. If you took all of Earth's history from the very beginning to today and squished it all into a single year, humans wouldn't even show up until the last few minutes of December 31st.
Wow.
Deep time is what helps us to wrap our heads around the fact that stars are born, they live for an incredibly long time, and eventually they die. And sometimes that death is pretty dramatic.
You're talking about supernovas, right? Those big, I don't know what you would call them, cosmic explosions.
Exactly. A supernova is basically a star's grand finale. It's this burst of energy so powerful that it can be brighter than an entire galaxy for a short time. Imagine a cosmic fireworks show so bright you can see it across billions of light years. That's a supernova.
Okay, that's seriously blowing my mind. So are you saying there's a chance that what we see when we look at Arcturus is just, I don't know, its afterimage? Like the light from a supernova that happened millions of years ago?
It's a definite possibility. The light from distant stars takes a long time to reach us, so we could be seeing a snapshot of Arcturus from a time before it went supernova.
That is wild. We could be looking at a ghost star. But let's get back to the message. This is where it starts to get really out there, at least for me. It claims this Arcturus system had a personality, like it was, a sentient being.
That's right. The message describes it as compassionate, logical, even seeking the mutual benefit of all things, which honestly is a nice change of pace from what we often see here on Earth.
Yeah, no kidding. Maybe we should all take some notes from these peace-loving star dwellers. But hold on, how can a star system have a personality? It's not like they have like a brain, right?
Well, no, we can't exactly give a star system a personality test, but think about it this way. Here on Earth, different ecosystems have different, I don't know, feels to them, right?
Yeah.
A rainforest is different from a desert. And this is because of a sort of collective identity that comes from everything living in that environment. The message seems to be suggesting that maybe something similar could be happening on a cosmic scale.
So you mean a star system could have a vibe based on all the life that exists around it? Like a chill star system versus, say, a super competitive one. That's wild. I kind of love that.
Yeah. And if you think about that, it makes you wonder if the personality of a star system is based on the choices of the beings within it. Couldn't it change and evolve over time? Just like ecosystems on Earth are constantly changing, responding to changes in climate or new species, maybe the same thing happens with life on a larger scale.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But wait, the message also claims that the Arcturus system went supernova because of its magnanimity. Hold on. Exploding out of the goodness of its heart. It's definitely a unique way to describe a supernova. Scientifically speaking, we know that a star's fate depends on its mass and what's going on in its core. But I do like how the message uses this, I guess you could call it metaphorical language, to suggest that even a star's death can be a kind of rebirth. You know, like a spreading of its energy out into the universe.
So it's like, I don't know, giving yourself over to something bigger.
Kind of like that, yeah. And this actually connects to another idea in the message. Black holes as portals to new universes.
Right, because that's in there too. Are we going full science fiction here?
Well, the message basically says that even though a black hole might seem like the end of everything, it could actually be the beginning of something totally new, like maybe a new universe born from the leftovers of the old one. And actually, this idea lines up with some pretty wild physics theories out there. Some physicists think there might be something called white holes on the other side of black holes, and these white holes could be spewing out matter and energy.
Whoa, hold on. So instead of a cosmic dead end, black holes could be like cosmic nurseries, where universes are born. Okay, I need a second to wrap my head around that. All right, so we've got exploding stars, black holes as cosmic nurseries, and star systems with personalities. This is starting to sound like, I don't know, the coolest sci-fi movie ever. But there's more, and this is where it gets even weirder. This message claims that this isn't just a story, that the imprint of Arcturus, its personality, is inside us, like right now.
Right. This is where the message shifts from astrophysics into something, well, something a bit more esoteric. It talks about this matrix of stars, suggesting that all life is connected on a huge cosmic scale. Now, we don't really have any hard scientific evidence to back up this whole matrix thing, but the idea that we're all made of stardust is actually true.
Wait, really? I always thought that was just, I don't know, a nice metaphor.
It is a poetic idea, but it's also scientifically accurate. All the elements that make up our bodies, the carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, even the iron in your blood, were actually created in the cores of stars that lived and died billions of years ago. When those stars went supernova, they scattered these elements out into space, and eventually they came together to form new stars, planets, even us.
Wow. You're saying that every breath I take, every beat of my heart, is powered by stardust.
Exactly.
That means the iron in my blood and even the calcium in my bones was once part of a star that exploded billions of years ago. That's incredible. Okay, so that means we really are all connected to the cosmos. But the message doesn't stop there. It also claims that your singing voice and you growing up Mormon make you like extra receptive to this message. So hold on, are we saying that there's like a cosmic connection between singing, I don't know, Joseph Smith's first prayer and tuning into messages from exploded star systems? Because even I think that's a stretch.
Let's not get too literal here. It's not like singing a certain song is some kind of intergalactic radio dial or anything. I think what the message is trying to get at is that all of our experiences, even ones that seem kind of normal or from when we were kids, can affect how we understand the universe and where we fit in. You know, when you were growing up, you were exposed to some really big ideas, like Mormonism's belief in a premortal existence and a universe full of life. So it's pretty interesting to consider how those early experiences might be shaping how you interpret this message now.
Wow. You're right. It's almost like our experiences are like filters that we use to see the universe. Yeah, I've never really thought of it that way before. There's one last piece to unpack here, and this is the part that really got me thinking. The message seems to be warning us about getting too caught up in trying to find explanations for everything. It stresses listening to our, get this, intelligent amassment of energy and intuition. What is that all about? Yeah, it's like we're so busy looking for the right words that we forget to just listen to our gut. What do you think about this whole intelligent amassment of energy and intuition thing?
That really speaks to me. It reminds me that we have this deep well of wisdom inside of us that's often way beyond anything we can explain with logic.
Oh, interesting.
Like the message is saying, hey, look, you've got this incredible body and mind that's the product of billions of years of evolution, so trust your gut, trust those intuitive feelings, even if they don't seem to make sense right away.
So you're saying we should trust that feeling deep down, that voice we hear inside, even when we can't really put it into words.
Exactly. Sometimes the most important truths are beyond words or equations. We have to experience them to understand them.
I like that. You're right. It's so easy to get caught up in the intellectual side of things, especially with a message like this. But maybe the real message here is a lot simpler. Maybe it's just trusting yourself, your intuition, and being open to the idea that you're connected to something much bigger than yourself.
I think that's a great way to put it. It reminds me of that quote by Carl Sagan. The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself.
It's true. I mean, we started out talking about this channeled message from the Arcturian collective thingy, and now we're talking about trusting our intuition and, realizing we are stardust. That's quite a journey.
It really is, and I think it shows how even the most far-out ideas can help us to understand ourselves and our place in the universe a little bit better.
Okay, so where do we go from here? What are we supposed to do with all of this? Especially if we're not all, picking up cosmic radio waves.
That's the million-dollar question, right? And while there's no one right answer, I think this message gives us a pretty big clue. It reminds us that every single one of us, each and every person, is part of this huge cosmic story, a story that's still being written. The decisions we make, the way we treat each other and the planet, it all adds to this story.
So we're all part of this giant cosmic tapestry, and each of us is weaving our own thread into it. And if we can learn to trust our intuition and the wisdom we have inside, then maybe we can make sure the story we tell is a good one.
I think so. Maybe that's the real message here. You don't need a fancy telescope or a channeled message to feel connected to something bigger than yourself. Just look up at the night sky, remember that you have the echoes of ancient stars inside you, and then ask yourself, what will your story be?
That's a great thought to end on. It reminds me that the most important truths are often right there in front of us, waiting to be discovered. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder the mysteries of the cosmos. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and remember, even though the universe is vast, you are a vital part of it.